out the moment their friends returned. Cannon nodded to his team. Okay, you know the plan. Move out. What the rebels didn't know is that they were walking into a trap. The Wookiees weren't aboard the transport at all. As Cannon, Zeb, and Sabine crept closer to the transport's brig, a high-ranking Imperial commander named Agent Kallus arrived on board. An officer updated him. The rebels are heading for the brig, where quite the surprise awaits. On board the Ghost, Hera couldn't get a message through to Cannon and the others. She realized the Ghost's transmissions were being blocked. The Imperials must have known they were coming. Hera spun toward Ezra urgently. You need to board the transport and warn them. Ezra couldn't believe what he was hearing. What? Why don't you do it? I need to be ready to take off, or none of us stands a chance. They need you, Ezra. They need you right now. Going to warn the others went against everything Ezra had ever learned about fending for himself, but he realized there was no other choice. He sprinted down the halls of the transport ship to find Cannon and the others. Ezra reached the team just as Cannon was about to open the door to the brig. Zeb groaned. Carabast! The kid's blowing another op! It's not an op, it's a trap! Hera sent me to warn you! While they were arguing, the brig door slid open, revealing an army of stormtroopers. Run! Cannon, Ezra, Zeb, and Sabine raced back to the Ghost. Only one by one, they jumped in through the ship's airlock. But just as Ezra was about to follow, Agent Kallus grabbed him. Ah, let's go! The airlock snapped shut. The rebels didn't realize Ezra wasn't on board. In a flash of smoke and engine fire, they took off. Ezra had been left behind. Agent Kallus marched Ezra to a holding cell and shoved him inside. I am Agent Kallus of the Imperial Security Bureau. And you are? Ezra smirked defiantly. Jabba the Hutt. Agent Kallus didn't even blink. Ezra sighed. Look, I just met those guys today. I don't know anything. Now Agent Kallus did smile. On his face, it was a frightening expression. You're not here for what you know, Jabba. You're here to be used as bait upon our return to Lothal. Meanwhile, Cannon and the others realized that Ezra wasn't with them. They had to go back. Disguising the Ghost's identity signal, Hera piloted it back to the Imperial Star Destroyer that was holding Ezra captive. Little did they know Ezra had managed to sneak out of his holding cell. He had nabbed a helmet and was crawling to safety through the ship's air ducts. On the helmet's intercom, he could hear an Imperial transmission. I don't know how, but the rebel ship approached without alerting our sensors. Ezra gasped. They came back! I don't believe it! Ezra raced to the airlock where he saw the rebels waiting for him. Sabine held back the stormtroopers with blaster fire while they all jumped aboard the Ghost. Cannon called to Hera. Spectre 1 to Ghost, we're leaving. The Ghost zoomed away from the Star Destroyer. Hera smiled at Ezra when he entered the cockpit. Welcome aboard again. Ezra looked at the rebels gratefully. Thank you. I really didn't think you'd come back for me. Then he told them something else he'd heard over the stormtroopers' intercom. Something important. I know where they're taking the Wookiees. Have you heard of the spice mines in Kessel? Sabine nodded. Slaves sent there last a few months, maybe a year. Ezra looked at each of his new friends. Then I guess we better go save them. Far away on Kessel, stormtroopers forced handcuffed Wookiees to march into the desert mines. A large laser cannon was positioned on each side of the mine, just in case any daring Wookiees got ideas. As the Wookiees marched into the dark caverns, dust filled their noses and clung to their fur. A Wookiee child named Kitwar reached for his father, frightened, but the stormtroopers yanked him away. Kitwar's father, Wolfwaro, growled in anger. More than anything, he wanted to attack the trooper and protect his son. But with the handcuffs and cannon blasters, there was nothing that he could do. Suddenly, ash swirled up from the ground around the Wookiees. A dark shadow loomed overhead. Everyone looked up. It was the ghost coming to the rescue. Cannon and Sabine used the ghost's guns to take out the laser cannon. The moment the ship landed, stormtroopers' blaster fire broke out everywhere. The Wookiees scattered, confused and frightened. Zeb directed them toward the ghost. Get in, ya furballs! Now! Wolfwaro tried to reach Kitwar, but a blaster bolt hit him in the shoulder. The dazed Wookiee howled, looking around for Kitwar. In all the confusion, the little Wookiee had gotten lost. Ezra realized what was happening and looked frantically for Kitwar. He spotted him, trapped by a stormtrooper on a tall, narrow bridge. Ezra sped towards Kitwar and leaped in front of the little Wookiee, protecting him. Ezra aimed his energy slingshot at the stormtrooper and knocked him out with 3 quick blasts. Gotcha! Suddenly, Ezra sensed something behind him and spun around. Agent Kallus was standing at the entrance to the bridge, blocking their path. Agent Kallus smiled darkly. It's over. Not this time. Both Ezra and Agent Kallus turned toward the voice. Cannon stood atop the ghost as it flew up beside them, and he was holding a lightsaber, the weapon of a Jedi. Kallus opened fire on Cannon, but Cannon expertly deflected each shot. One blast glanced off Cannon's lightsaber and hit Kallus's shoulder. The Imperial agent staggered backward and fell over the bridge's railing, where he dangled precariously over the pit below. Ezra and Kitwar scampered down the bridge and into the ghost. In a blast of light, the ship took off to safety. On board the ghost, Kitwar raced into his father's arms. Wolfwaro howled happily. Then he turned to Ezra and Cannon, growling more happy sounds. Sabine translated. He says if we ever need help, the Wookiees will be there. The rebels met up with a Wookiee spaceship that would return the former captives to their homes. Ezra waved goodbye to his new friends, and then he turned to the ghost's crew. So, I guess you drop me off next. Back on Lothal, Ezra had questions for Cannon. As Jedi, perhaps Cannon could explain the strange intuitions Ezra had sensed his whole life. Ezra asked about an ancient Jedi word. What's the Force? Cannon smiled. It binds the galaxy together, and it's strong with you, Ezra. Come with me. You can learn what it truly means to be a Jedi. Ezra thought hard. Joining the rebels would be dangerous, but it might mean having a sort of family for the first time in a long while. A wide grin broke over Ezra's face. To him, that sounded like the best adventure of all. So, be strong with your Force and come together. Have a happy Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.